Impulse Summit is a faith-based empowerment experience. We also have our hands-on learning where you can participate in interactive workshops. We have business and branding growth where you can learn how to elevate your brand. We have personal and professional breakthroughs where we walk away with action. Celebration of excellence is what we have too, where we honor those icons and legends, game changers who have shaped the industry. I suggest you be a part of history, for this is our 7th year and it's going to be our biggest yet. Be a part of the movement. Be a part of the life changing of Impulse Summit.
Hello, everyone. It's your girl, Miss Lee, and I am excited about what is happening. What is it? It's the Restore podcast, and I am your visionary founder of Impulse Summit, Micheline Barber. I'm just simply here to empower, inspire, and impact the minds of millions one at a time. Listen, if you have not heard about it, it is going down in a major way in Charlotte, North Carolina, September the 27th through the 29th. It's restoration time, and it's time for us to rebuild, revive, and restore as in Joel 2 and 25. All the things that we lost, that was stolen, it is time for us to regain it back. All these different events that we have in our offsite day event, boots on the ground. We have our MIM industry mixer, our PPD, which is our Power Post breakfast, our Sunday Post, our Men on Pause, our Cream Awards, and the release ceremony. Now, this is just some of the events that we're having, but not all, because we are now adding even more things. One of the things that you're going to find, it is a 3-day educational experience that will restore you spiritually, personally, and professionally. Education sessions, main stage workshops, the VIP events, everything is under one roof at the Hilton in Charlotte, North Carolina. You want to join us? Don't second guess it. We're looking for our future professionals. Yes, they can come. 1 day, $75. 2 days will be $99. They get a swag bag, industry just for them, classes just for them. So listen, for every participant that comes, every 3, then the instructor is complimentary for a class pass. We have our signature VIPs that's almost sold out. Let me say that again, sold out. You get your personal signature on paraphernalia. You get 3 virtual classes led by experts tailored for your goals. You get premium seating and visibility, signature promotion packages. We added the cocktail hour, and we also added cupcakes with coaches. These are things that you're going to get for being there. Let's not forget that it's a signature VIP event at Impulse Summit where everyone is VIP. We're now saying if that's sold out, which it is to get in the room special. $299, you will be able to get all the classes, the workshops that we've named, and you'll be able to network with some of the top people that's there. $299 is great for an investment for you, and you. So lock in. It's get in the room. Why aren't you in the room of Impulse Summit? The regroup tours are coming to a place in a city and state near you. We will be stopping in places that you have never heard of and places that you heard of, but you want to be a part of it because we are going over the ABCs of the industry. It is about coming in to finding your tribe, your network. Simply buy your tickets at impulsesummit.com or go to stand.store/Impulse Summit. It's a regroup tour. It's time for us to regroup. If you want to partner with us and you know for a fact that you have something to display, come on. 2025 partnership packages are simply there. Just send us an email so that we will have our specialists be able to contact you for this special event. Scan the code to lock in. It's restoration time, and we are ready to restore you in everything that you have. We're ready for it. So come here, join us. It is time to rebuild these things. It's time to revive. And more than that, God said it's time to restore. Let's get it. We are moving into a new facet and it's time to jump. And this young lady that I'm about to bring to the Restore Now podcast is one that is not someone that is afraid to share, not someone that is afraid to tell you that she loved God and to tell you how she has gotten to where she is right now. She is coming out of Charlotte, North Carolina. She has a school, and we're going to talk about all the things that she has that God gave her and that she's willing to let God know. I thank you for it. Y'all, please welcome to the Restore Now podcast, none other than Miss Sunni Day.
Hi.
Listen, that's gonna get me hyped every time. I'm like,
Wait a minute. I like that part. That's the best part.
Right. It's like, who you about to bring before us? So, Sunni.
Hey.
And I love your name, Sunny Days, right?
Thank you.
So tell them a little bit about who you are, what you do, because now you are joining us for the very first year Impulse Summit.
I'm very excited.
Gifts. You have a Bonafide luxury brand, a school that we talked about, the old, like you got the old school method of thinking.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, how old are you again?
I just turned 40 this year, so this was my
40 years old. But when I tell you the maturity of what you know and have been seen and shown is phenomenal. So tell them a little bit about you, because I feel like I know a little bit about you. But you may be telling me something that I don't know.
Right.
So share.
So I'm Sunny, known as Sunny Days. I grew up in Jacksonville, Florida, but I moved to Charlotte about 9 years ago this year, actually, needing to just start over, going into a city where I felt I could grow, being from a city that I didn't feel like it was very much room to grow. Came to Charlotte 9 years ago in about a month or two, and started doing hair. Well, I was already doing hair, but I came here and was like, let me, do what I didn't know how to do. But I was really just like focused on, I need to niche. I need to literally have a specialty and deal with a certain group of women. And that's what I basically focused on. So I invested in myself, of course, doing continued education, found what that niche was, because I love natural hair, all things natural. Even though I'm a cosmetologist, I could definitely live off of just having a natural hair license, because that's just where I'm at. And found my niche, started doing luxury extensions with like threadless microlinks and eye tips. And I have a passion for people who have finer hair, just because my hair is fine. And I never really found anybody that catered to the fact that my hair is not super thick, super dense. So I would experience my hair coming out or braids pulling my hair out and stuff like that. So I just really wanted to focus on that. And so that ended up being my niche within my niche. So yes, I do luxury extensions, but I mainly specialize in women who are experiencing hair loss, have just fine hair, whether it's they were born with it or they've experienced it over based on stress or, different things that have just changed in their life. And then just giving them that confidence. So that has literally been my thing for the past 7 years, is focusing on women who have finer hair or who don't have the ideal perfect hair, and being that person like, oh no, this is easy, and literally tackling it like it's no stress. And it's funny because I do get a lot of women that come to me and I'm like, okay, I know I work miracles, but I can't do all miracles.
Right.
So it sounds like to me that you found your niche, right?
For sure.
You found a need of that, because that's a necessity. Women with fine hair loss, different things like that. That is something that's coming up. So foundation and calling. Sunny, let's go back to the beginning, right? Because you said you moved from Jacksonville. I understand because I live in Florida now. What's that first spark for your passion for your cosmetology, and how did that time you spent at Paul Mitchell shape you on your journey?
Oh man, so I mean, I remember the first braid I ever did when I was a little girl. I was just so happy, right? And I went to hair school in high school. I went to a school that was basically like a trade, so you can get your trade and you can get your degree. But it was just doing a whole bunch of little old ladies and roller sets. And I was like, that's not what I want to do. That's definitely not. So I kind of got out of it and went into doing the medical field. Life started lifing, and I just started going through all kind of different changes and trying to raise kids. And I remember my uncle saying, because I've always done hair. I used to have clients when I was younger, adult and young. And I remember my uncle saying, like, why are you struggling when you have a gift that you can do that I think comes easy for you? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like talking? Because I talk real well. And he was like, no, hair. Like, why don't you just do what you're good at doing? You're sitting here trying to do this and trying to make that work. And all of it was literally failing. Like, it was epic fail. And so when he said that, I said, okay, yeah, I'll do hair maybe. But at the time, of course, the money wasn't in hair like that. And then I remember going to my friend's house literally a week later. And she was like, girl, I went to Paul Mitchell and I got this kit. Now, I dropped out already though, but the kit bomb. And so I'm looking at the kit and I'm like, oh, that kit is nice. Like, it's all the nice tools and brushes. And I was like, maybe I'll go to Paul Mitchell. I'm like, because it was funny because it was literally the kit that drove me there. But when I got there, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and finish this through though, because let me go ahead and get my license. Like, why not? Never had any idea that I was going to get as much from Paul Mitchell that I did on the professional side. I really thought, okay, Paul Mitchell is not for us, it's for the Caucasians. So they can't tell me anything that I, don't know about what I know. They're just gonna help me get my license. And it was the furthest from the truth. I learned business. I learned how to actually care about the hair, because Paul Mitchell taught me about hair. It's no such thing as black hair, white hair. Hair is hair. It's fine, medium, thick. It's European, Asian, African. It's just hair. And so I learned that's kind of what brought me into this luxury, because luxury for me was more so the standard. So not necessarily having a Gucci bag or a Louis bag, but it's having a standard and not falling below that. And Paul Mitchell was very big on that. You had to come in with your black on, you had to have your hair done, you had to have your makeup done, and they were not accepting anything less than that.
That's it.
And so they started that whole, everybody can blame Paul Mitchell for how I am in this world.
And that's me.
They literally
blame Dudley, but that's me.
Right. So my time at Paul Mitchell, it was trying too, because I ended up breaking the largest bone in my body. I broke my femur, got in a really bad car accident about a month and a half before I was finished with school. Couldn't walk for almost a year. Had to go back. They were like, well, you need to hurry up and come back or you're going to have to start all over. And, so it was really trying. And I was like, I'm going back. I went back in a wheelchair. Like, I was like, well, I don't want to have to start over and I'm almost done. So I went back in a wheelchair. Of course, everybody that I was started with, they graduated. But even that part was kind of like, I can do this. And so that started there's absolutely no excuses out here that anybody can give anybody. My dad's been saying that all my life. But when I actually started going through life and persevering through it, regardless of what was what I was faced with, that's when I learned that, okay, yeah, so this is where I'm supposed to be at. Because for me to break my leg and then still have the opportunity to even go back in a wheelchair, then this is where I'm supposed to be at. So my uncle putting that little birdie in and my friend having that kit, it all brought it back full circle to, you have to chop these hands off to get rid of what God has put in me, So it really just brought me back to where I didn't even know I belonged, because I thought I was just doing it because I just like doing hair. But I didn't realize that I really have, like, this is where God this is my ministry. This is how I can reach who I need to reach. So
I always say this, with hair, you can't just like it. You got to love it and got to have it. Like the ice cream, right?
Yes, for sure.
You have really went through a restoration, a breakthrough just from that story alone. Because I'm sitting here saying how many people would have gave up, and not showed up even in a wheelchair. That's
right.
People are like, okay, must not be meant for me. Exactly. But the reality is meant for you to show up. You've mentored over 1,000+ people, women, should I say. Can you share a moment when you saw a breakthrough in someone else's life that was a familiar feeling or a familiar look to you, right? Because we know what it looked like to be hurt. We know what it looked like to be disappointed. Mm-hmm. It's a familiar look, but it was something that deeply impacted you from you sharing your story or your trials, your tribulations, that you saw a breakthrough in someone else.
Yes, for sure. I've trained a lot of women. A lot of women come to me because they've seen depending on how long they've been following me, they've seen everything that I've gone through, from my boyfriend being killed to breaking my leg to incarceration, just everything that I've literally gone through, and steady persevering, steady pushing through. And I had one particular lady, she came to me, she's like, listen, like, I have zero money. I really cannot afford this class. But she's like, for some reason, I just really feel like this is what's going to take me to that next level. She had just got out of an abusive relationship. And I was like, okay, I comped the class for her, and she was like, I'll just pay you back later. I'm like, no, I mean, at the end of the day, girl math is, once the money is spent, it's already spent. So once I've given you the education, I'm not giving it to you and then being like, all right, now you owe me. It's already done. And she is bomb at what she does right now. So to literally watch her come to me in a humble, because you have to be very humble to ask for somebody to give something you're charging thousands of dollars for, and you're like, can I have it for free? And I don't know you, you know. Of course, I didn't tell anybody in the class because it was a group class. So I didn't tell anybody else that, you know, she didn't have to pay, treated her the same. And that was the part that she was just like, I just loved how you didn't even, I couldn't tell that, you know, this was a gift, you know, and she's really doing really, really well. Like, I'm really proud of her. And that was probably about 4 years ago. That was probably the beginning for me to realize, like, people are literally watching me. They're watching my story and they're like, can somebody give me a chance? And that's kind of where why I started this, because the chances is what I feel like we're lacking on in this industry. Nobody's giving anybody a true chance. And if they do, it's kind of for their own personal gain.
Yes.
I didn't gain anything from, you know, except for being able to tell people, oh, there's somebody in Chicago that you can go to. You know what I'm saying? You're looking for somebody, I can send you there. That's the only thing that I gained, was to be able to refer. And that was big for me. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's not given a chance. I wasn't really given a chance. I had to buy my way in, you know, paying for the class and stuff like that.
Invested.
There's nothing, exactly. There's nothing wrong with that though. And that's kind of also what made me kind of come up with the school as well.
And see, I'm hearing all these things that you sound so much like me, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't really look at the fact of me giving it. I look at the fact that I'm gaining more. God, I'm gaining more. Well done, my good and faithful servant.
For sure.
So this is where I know God is going to continuously move through you and for you because of your giving. So what did personally you had to overcome, like fear, doubt, burnout, in order for you to walk in the boldness of your luxury lane? Because we all face these things of not wanting to do it.
Yeah.
What personally have you overcome in
that? Within this building, this brand, I lost my fiance, and you know, that was like the toughest time, because I definitely lost my mojo, because when I first moved here, I met him when I first moved here. So he literally saw me build up to, like, he was trying to gift me a purse. And I said, I need you to pay for this class. He was like, pay for the class. I'm like, yes, that's what I need. You know? So he literally watched that one thing be what I needed, you know? And so I enjoyed working and grinding and doing all that. So then when he was killed, I kind of lost I'm not saying I was doing it for him, but I love to have somebody see me from the bottom, you know, because you meet me now, you don't know what I've been through. So you'll just be like, oh, she thinks but I don't think any of that, because you don't know what I went through till you get here. Right. And he was kind of the only person that I had here in Charlotte that knew my beginning, like literally 3 weeks after I moved here. You know what I'm saying? And I still had to push through. Yeah. And I had to push through regardless of how I felt. And I didn't like how I felt. And I can even say that, you know, if you said something to me during that time, ma'am,
right.
Now's not the time. You don't know what I'm going through.
Tragedy.
Yeah, no, I had to push through even with that. Like, okay, I stopped selling hair because I was like, let me stop dealing with this many customers, because I'm not in a good space and people aren't reading, because I'm putting it out there, but people ain't reading, and I don't have the patience, you know. So I had to push through that. I had to push through even still doing everything that was in motion. Literally the night that he got killed, I was in the middle of building my business credit, setting up my Dun & Bradstreet, because he got killed in COVID. Prior to that, I'm grinding, working, saving, no days off. Then that happened, and I was like, oh, I had all this money saved. I didn't have to work that hard. So I wasn't the one that's like, oh, I'm still doing hair during the pandemic. I was like, no, they said we need to socially distance, so we socially distancing. And that was the time that I was using, like, okay, now I'm going to do all the things. I'm going to have branded this, branded that. And then he died in the middle of me. And so I had put a lot on pause. I had started my own, I made my own smoothing treatment. I had made my own, I had invented this, like, one little thing that I still haven't even released, because it was like, all this was in motion when I was like good. But then it was like, when I took that loss, I didn't even really want to do it anymore, or I didn't even have that energy. But now I just got to still pay my bills and do all this stuff. So it's like, I'm still working. I'm still behind the chair. So it was me having to push through all of that. And I birthed this school grieving. So, and I thought, you know, and even when I was doubting this, because this took a long time, like a year and a half, you know, just because this wasn't moving ready, like the guy said. And it was just all these challenges I was facing with that. And, then I actually birthed it, and I'm like, did I mean to do this? Because it's like I was grieving. So I think I was just trying to find something to do. I knew I've always wanted to school, but I don't know if I was ready at the time, And so my friend, she was like, well, girl, if you birthed this with grief, what you going to do when you're not?
I'm gonna tell you what I hear is that you push through the purpose of pain. Like there's a reason why pain comes to all of us, because it's identification of what we can't go through, the fear, the doubt, the stress, all the things that is there. All these things cause us pain, whether it's heart pain, head pain, headache, whatever it is, it's a certain pain. And I'm grateful that you are able to tell your story, because again, when someone see you, they may not identify that portion, that person. Even you didn't identify that person at that time. Now you're pushing through, and we're grateful for it.
Yes.
Now you have your school that's in Charlotte, right? And you're constantly pushing the purpose of the microlinks. Education and structure, that's what you learn. You found Bonafide Luxury Natural Hair School. I like it.
Thank you.
Gap in the industry were you trying to fill with the school? Because we talked about the age gap, the things that we're trying to see the younger generation of future professionals with the more mature, seasoned stylists. What gap in the industry were you feeling?
With this particular program, because it's a natural hair school, I just found, because we don't have natural hair in Florida. And so it was brand new to me and never heard of it. I was like, natural hair license. Okay, what's that? 300 hours? That sounds easy. Like I said, I'm a licensed cosmetologist. I went through all my hours, but I could have definitely just did 300. But the one thing that I noticed with the natural hair license professionals here is the schools are not pouring into them. It's only 300 hours, right? You're not getting any federal funding, because for financial aid, you have to have at least a 600-hour program or more. So you're not getting federal funding. This is out of pocket. So you're not really charging that much, because people aren't really able to pay that much out of pocket, right?
Right.
So the education in what you're teaching these girls is really not there. It's really just what state board is requiring, which is sanitation and how to pass this test, right? If they didn't come in with the skill set already, they're not learning it. They're not learning professionalism. They're not learning like the true, like what's going to take you to another level. I shouldn't be able to tell that you have a natural hair license or a cosmetology license.
Right.
There shouldn't be a difference. Outside of the fact that when I say, can I get a color? You say, oh, no, I'm not allowed to do that. That's about it. So the gap that I was trying to fill is the difference between the two. And just because you only spent 300 hours on this license doesn't mean that you're any less than of a professional, and doesn't mean that you would offer anything less than somebody who is a cosmetologist. So just teaching them that luxury, that standard of this is where we're going to sit it at, and then you don't go below that.
Right.
So
and you treat everybody the same, you know what I'm saying? Because when they're coming in, like you said, you treat the young lady who did not pay. You could easily like, okay, I'm not going to show you everything because you're not paying, but you treated her with the luxury of that, that you want to be returned back to you. So that right there's a standard that everyone need to feel, filling that gap in, even when you don't see
exactly.
And
then including continued education. So I definitely have continued education built into the program. I spent a lot of money post Paul Mitchell on just finding my way and what I wanted to do. And I'm really big on building up. So I feel like whenever I finish school, I should be confident in, okay, this is what I'm getting ready to go out here and do. Not I finished school. Okay, now what? And then now I have to spend more money in finding the people, because, you never know, you might spend all this money with somebody and then didn't learn anything. Now you got to find somebody else, so then it's a cycle and then you give up or something. So filling in that gap of not only should we not be able to tell the difference, but then also adding that continued education portion already built in and at a luxury level. So if you're like, hey, I'm not going to encourage, oh yeah, go be a braider. It's only so much money in braids. But if you say, I like locks, okay, well, let's do sister locks. Let's do micro locks. Let's do where the money is at, where the quality clientele is at. Or you want to do braids? Well, I think you need to do the human hair braids. Let's do the stuff that, people, it doesn't bring in, it brings in a better quality of clientele that will be able to have you set yourself at a certain standard and not be able to go below it.
Right, because I told you I want to take your class. I mean, I'm telling you, when the summer is over, I am there because I told you what I can't do is braid. So I said, no, Mitch, I had the method. Braiding, that's just not my ministry. God,
right.
Not yet for that. And Post Summer is introducing something new. And what is that? our signature VIP event pass. Do see more. It consists of your actual signature on paraphernalia to get your brand out even bigger and better. And also, it's going to come with your signature on your VIP seating. That means wherever you sit, your signature will follow you. Are you serious? Also, you get a chance to choose from 5 virtual classes where we're going to have our experts lead you to tailor you for your goals as to what you're looking for in 2025 and beyond. Something to think about. Another thing is, they also get a chance to put their signature promotion on our social media site, where we're going to make sure that we brand you and for visibility and impact. So join us for this year signature VIP event pass. I got you. That was me talking to me.
Yeah.
I talked myself into knowing about the investment of what you deserve to be around, and the signature package that so many people have already said, I'm in.
Nice.
To be something like Sunny. So listen, my next thing is I want to talk to you about, right? Yeah. We talked over the phone about so many things. And some of the biggest things we talked about is where our future lie? In Cosmo, in this world that we're dealing with, because there's so many times people are not looking for that next level of luxury. They're just kind of
coasting.
Let's talk to that person that's out there coasting.
Right.
That says, I'm satisfied. I don't need nothing else. I don't need Sunny. I don't need Impulse. I don't need nothing.
To me, it's kind of like not letting your job give you a raise. You go to work every single day and when you started 10 years ago, you started at $7 an hour, and 10 years later, you're still at $7 an hour. Now, out here, everything else is increasing. Yeah, gas, rent, the groceries, everything is increasing. So why would you not want to elevate? Why would you not want to increase? Why would you not want to have a surplus? God said that we should have plentiful, so why would you be okay with just kind of coasting and not really? I mean, I can understand, everybody doesn't want to be a business owner, but I just think that you should always want more for what you are offering and being able to elevate your clientele. You know what I'm saying? Because you have clients that they are looking at everything that all these other people are doing, but then they see you and you're not offering it, and they probably sticking with you because they love you, but they want something different. They want something new, or they want to try the things that are being shown out here, So why would you let them go to somebody else? Because they're gonna go and try it.
That's it.
And I had people come to me like, yeah, my stylist said she don't want to take the class, so she just sent me to you. And I'm like, that's so, why would you?
I mean, let it walk out, when you could easily do it, because even how you described to me your specialty, right? Mm-hmm. Every day we walk, we see someone is in need of that. Mm-hmm, for sure. Like women who are losing their hair. There's women, like I was watching something where a lady was like, listen, I suffer from this. Mm-hmm. And the security that you're giving, the confidence that you're giving to people is so fulfilling.
It really is. It really is.
And I want to be able to say, I too can fulfill this, right? Exactly. That's such a great feeling, the fulfillment of being able to just plug and play. Mm-hmm. You can't beat it.
Seriously, because women are restricted, especially women with hair loss. They feel less than in ways that they're embarrassed. I've met women that their husbands have never seen their hair, their scalp. Right. They don't feel comfortable. Their kids have never seen their hair and their scalp. So, to be able to come up out of a wig and feel more like yourself. Versus in a wig, half your forehead's cut off. So it's like you haven't even seen your real forehead in a minute or whatever. So to be able to just help a woman feel like she's getting back to who she was before she was having to wear a wig or having to wear a hat, or, you know what I'm saying? That confidence is it's unshakable. And even for me, it's like, I'm like, okay, well, it's not going to be that full. They're like, I don't even want super full. I just want to be able to put my hair in a ponytail, or I just want it to be free and not itchy. I'm going through menopause right now. The wigs are hot. I'm sweating. So it's like the little things that people just want to be free from, and I'm able to give that. That's enough. So yeah, it doesn't look like a sew-in, but you're cool with that because you just want the more natural look. You want your husband to see what you look like as is and not always in this wig, So
yeah, people are always throwing that word around, luxury, but then you look around, it's not the feeling of luxury, it's not the smell of luxury. We see it a lot. What does the true luxury mean to you in your beauty space, in your space? Because I see your space is absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
I see other spots where you were sitting, like, it's beautiful. Like, I don't know to sit down and be. Let me ask you this: what does luxury mean to you in your space?
So in this space, it means that standard of, first of all, I love black and white because I'm a Paul Mitchell girl, so that was our thing. I think that's just industry standard. Yeah. If you're a stylist, as much as creative as we are, we still are like black and white with a little bit of gold.
And then white. Give me a gray.
Yeah.
Right.
For sure. So as I was saying earlier, it's just that standard that I do not go below. So if you're coming to get this, you're guaranteed this level of service, this level of experience, this level, and then or higher. So I've had a lot of women come in. I mean, I know you said you could, but I really didn't think, and it exceeded that. You know what I'm saying? So then also not really, because I always say I'm not a saleswoman. I kind of just let everything sell itself. You know what I'm saying? You see it, and I'm very consistent. I'd rather show you than to sit here and convince you. So even on that level, I feel like luxury, you don't Louis Vuitton doesn't have to sell anything. You know what it is. You know what I'm saying? And so that same thing here, if you come to me, you pretty much already know what you're coming for, unless you just found me yesterday and you're just like, okay, girl, but even then, for you to get ready to spend the amount of money you're going to spend, you still can see that standard that has been set that I do not go below. And you can scroll on my page, you can scroll for days, and you'll see like, okay, it was definitely elevation, not going backwards. So that's just kind of what that means to me, as far as like setting that standard and not going below it, but exceeding it. Every year, I'm always trying to take another class. I'm always trying to learn new things. I'm always trying to do something else. I'm always trying to add, take classes.
Say that again. Every year, what?
I'm taking classes. I'm learning. I'm doing something. I'm pouring into myself. I have to, so that way I can pour into others. Because if not, I'll be empty. So yeah, for sure.
And you know what? We talked on the phone, and I told you, I said, listen, I'm gonna tell you this beginning. This is a faith-based event, right? Faith, I hear it come all out your mouth. I hear the scriptures. I hear the word, and it plays a major role in the way you lead, teach, and build legacy with your brand. How for someone who may not be walking that faith walk, how has it just really been the first thing before you even open up your doors?
Man, I mean, that's what got me here to Charlotte was faith. I literally drove up here and was like, okay, I'm gonna go on this job interview. The lady was like, can you start next week? I was like, sure. Mind you, my kids are at home. They're in Jacksonville. They were still in school. And I just told her, yeah, because I figured this is what God wanted me to do, because for it to just be that way. So I moved up here, moved my kids up here, all off faith. I didn't have a piece of a family member. I didn't have a friend, a foe. I didn't know anything about Charlotte. I never had even been here. Like literally my first time coming here was when I came to do an interview at this salon. And there was days that I had nobody on the books. And I never panicked, and I was just really telling my friend about how strong I am and serious I am about, like, it's either you going to believe in him or you not. And I totally just believed in him. Like, I believe that he didn't allow the doors to open as easy as they did for me to move up here. Like everything just flowed for anything to go left. So when I literally it's almost the first of the month, I don't have nobody on my books. I'm taking my kids to Dave & Buster's with the little bit of money that I had, because I knew that God, he didn't bring me this far without, he even leave me. So something gonna happen. And then literally, it's almost like I would say it out loud, and then literally I would have 2 or 3 bookings for that week that would give me exactly what I needed to pay whatever bill needed to be paid. And that literally has carried me this entire time. For me spending the $2,500 on the class, that was a lot of money, and I didn't have it. But I did it based off the faith that I knew that this is what I needed, what he told me, what I needed to do, what I came here for, and it's all worked out. So even with me grieving, I just let my faith ride. I was like, I know I'm gonna get over this. I know I'm gonna get through it. I know with me opening this school, I'm like, that was nothing but faith. Because girl, what? I was not ready.
Yeah.
I didn't think
I could say that's the same thing about with Impulse Summit, that we started off in Columbia because I'm originally from South Carolina, right? Mm-hmm. And God said, go bigger. And I'm like, what? You want me to what? I don't know anybody there. I don't even know where to start beginning. Looking what hotel, where am I have this event? Who gonna come? All these things.
And I love that. And
here we are, 7 years, you know? And when I went and found that spot, it was the last one that we almost didn't go to because we was tired that day. Mm-hmm. And it was God opened up the door, and then now we're at another location. Mm-hmm. You know, so I can say this, we have the same. That's why I'm looking at you. I know I may be looking at you kind of crazy, but you know how people say things, you be like, man, did anybody tell her my story?
Right.
So God had to strip or shift some things in before he could elevate you to lead others. I'm a true believer of that. He had to just reveal to us some things. What's something that God just stripped and just said, listen, and shifted you and shook you to where you knew that helped you elevate?
Me. He stripped me. I've never been without, as far as I've never been homeless. You know, I've never not had custody of my kids or nothing major. The biggest loss I ever took was my fiance. But prior to that, prior to my move here, he stripped me down to, Sunny, you keep making these poor decisions. You keep finding yourself in a situation that you do not belong in. This isn't even you. As much as I'm not a follower, I am very much a leader. I was on some follower paths, you know what I'm saying? Just on I'm kind of like a product of my environment type of thing, but not, because I know better. And when you know better, you do better. But it was not me. I was not doing better because I was kind of refusing, and I was stuck in this rut. So it was like, okay, well, let me get you out this rut. He got me out the rut. Now, he sat me down in a place that I did not want to be. But literally, that was the place that I was able to, like, I have a notebook still from this. It was from 2015, full of everything that has come to fruition. He sat me down in a room by myself, corner, for months and months and months. And I had no choice but to literally write out and talk to him and listen to him. That was the only time. I felt like that was the only way that he felt like I was going to even listen. God knows his children. And he knew what it was going to take for me to, for one, be tired, for me to want to do right by my girls, as far as like not let them see this and not let them think that it's normal. Now, has it helped in a way of like, they're very resilient, they're very tough, they're very self-sufficient? Yeah, for sure. But it's not something that we were going to keep having to go through. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, he stripped me down to me, literally left me to myself, which I always say, everybody doesn't have that luxury, and even though the situation might not have been the best, I literally had the luxury of being forced to sit down and listen. And I did, and I listened and I trusted him, and here we are, and I'm still listening. I'm still trusting. I went to Africa by myself. Didn't know anybody over there either, and trained 11 girls on some humbug. Like, I just was like, you know what, I'm doing class while I'm out there.
Wow.
And I only did 2 months of promo, and I trained 11 girls in a country that I've never been in several countries, actually, in 2 countries over there. So in a continent that I had never been in, so. And even prior to that, I was really trying to figure out how I was going to make it work. I was like, I don't know, because I can't charge them what I charge over here. I can't, everything was totally different. And so he kind of forced me during a little time during that moment. I was kind of by myself. I thought friends were my friends that weren't, but it was kind of like I needed to push people out the way, or he needed to push people out the way for me to hear and follow and do, because I didn't need any kind of negative anything, because I have things to do. I have people to impact, and I don't have any room for doubt or people who are going to bring that doubt. I just had to tell somebody yesterday, you cannot put your fear onto me, and you cannot force me to adopt it, because I have big faith in God. I don't just say it. I do it. I live by, and you won't even know that this is what you won't even know I'm sweating profusely. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But because I trust him, because he has carried me so far. And he loves how, I know he loves how I don't even question him. Like how, I mean, not saying, but like when you were like, how? I don't know nobody. I've never even done that. I was just like, okay.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
My friend's like, girl, you're crazy. Okay. Well,
Yeah, that's that crazy love that you have for God that
Seriously.
helped you develop Bonafide Luxury Natural Hair School that's located 6316 Old Sugar Creek Road, Unit C in Charlotte, North Carolina. I've watched you. I've watched your Instagrams. I've listened to you talk, and what I keep hearing is it's time to move for somebody who's out there that is staying still and stuck.
Move.
This is a prodigy of movement.
Yes, for sure.
There's nothing wrong with the movement because he's gonna make it so uncomfortable to where if you thought that you was gonna stay there, guests are gonna stop coming, sit in your chair, friends are gonna stop being your friends. It's gonna be where you feel so isolated to all you have is him.
It's him.
He said, because I told you I need you to move. I need you to invest in yourself.
To get uncomfortable.
I need you to be in the room. I need you to be uncomfortable. I need it to stretch you so that you know that you don't feel like you can breathe. But he said, I need you to solely depend on me. And that's where, if you're looking out there for someone to help you elevate yourself, to elevate your skills, then Sunny Days at her school, Bonafide Luxury Natural Hair School, is where you will find it, because you won't find me there. So y'all see it's already on the screen. I can't take it back. I got to learn it because I want to keep refreshing myself. At 55 years old, I feel like I'm just beginning. And the movement to Charlotte is only going to allow me to grow and to be bigger in what God is telling me to do. So your vision for legacy, what do you want your students and clients to say 10 years from now? Because now you said it's 9 years that they said you're teaching. What from now to then, what do you want?
Honestly, I want them to know that I did not play about their education. Okay. Everybody, like, I just finished a class now, and I had 2 young girls and 2 older ladies that are starting over. So I had a 17-year-old, a 21-year-old, and then I had a 47-year-old and a 45-year-old. And the older ones, they were like, you ain't play. I said, well, why would I? You could have went to CPCC for thousands of dollars cheaper. I didn't come to play. I came to make sure that you got this education that you paid for. You paid for it. Now we can key, but I'm very stern.
I'm not playing with y'all.
I'm not playing with your education.
Right.
But we keying after. And it'd be funny because we'd be keying during. And then as soon as they mess up, I'd be like, yeah, no, you're cool with that? You're not sending that client out there like that. Do it over. And then we'll go back to keying. And they don't want to key no more. I'm like, oh, we're not laughing no more?
Oh, yeah. You don't think it's funny?
But they knew, like, Sunny's not going to accept this. Let me go ahead and, because you came here for this to set the standard. And so that's what we're going to do. And I had a lot of pushback at first, but then they realized, like, this is for my betterment. It's not for me. I'm already licensed. I'm already in my career. So if I'm telling you to do it over, that's for you. It's not because I'm just on.
I want you to be tough on me. I'm saying, I want you to, Micheline, look, that look a mess. Yes, ma'am. I'm like, yes, ma'am, do everything. Ain't no shame in my game, so that will let you know that right now. I ain't never scared to be spanked, all right? My mama did that for me, so
that's what they would say. They're like, you like the mama that don't even care that we having a huff and a puffing moment. I don't. Do it over.
That's it.
That's what you paid
so
for.
You will be joining us
right
there in your now hometown.
In my hometown, yes.
North Carolina, for Impulse Summit. This will be your first year.
Yes, I'm super
excited. Tell them, for someone who's sitting out there, why they need to join you, even if it's their first time or they've been coming all 7 years, why they need to join you and sit around you.
Just so I can put it into perspective, because I feel like a lot of people do have doubt. They feel like the main thing that everybody says is these people aren't going to get this, or I don't have the clientele for that. But they talk themselves out of it. So put yourself in the room with me so I can go ahead and put it in perspective on why you very well need this, especially if you plan on still being in this industry. Now, if you're on your way out and you're trying to retire, then yeah, okay, But if you're trying to keep yourself active and involved and keeping up with what's going on, we have moved into the luxury extensions, or even like I said, even with locks. Nobody's just getting a regular lock. Now we on micro locks. Sister locks always been around, but we're just elevating. Okay, so put yourself in the room so that way you can get the perspective on why you definitely need to add majority of these services to your service list, and not all of them. I literally do 2 things. I only do 2 services, and really it's really 1, but we'll say 2.
Yeah.
And it pays my bills and other bills too, so put yourself in a room, get the perspective on where we are at in this luxury extensions world. There's several different techniques, so it's not all the same thing. Work smarter, not harder. It's definitely a lane that you have more freedom, and that's what we're trying to be, because at the end of the day you can work hard and slave, but then what, where are you leaving room for yourself? And I think I work, all my friends say I work just so I could travel, because I love traveling. So it's like I work to travel and to pay my bills. I don't even want to buy stuff anymore. I just want to be able to go.
Let me see the world.
That's it.
Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy.
The whistle got them back.
Live in the building.
Yeah, yeah.
I dance on my dance here. You ready? Where them fans at?
Give me one time.
Where them fans at?
Give me two times.
Where them fans at? Hit me one time.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, 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 I got my boots on the ground. Yeah. Where them fans at? Oh, 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 I got my boots on the ground. Where them fans at?
I know people wondering why we showing that. Well, let me tell you this.
Boots on the ground is it right now.
I'll tell you, my niece and them, they have a whole group that's going to be coming up to show us. For those who don't know the group, don't know the dance, they're going to be showing us. This year's Restore, we're officially having a Boots on the Ground day event. It's a green, shades of green, so get your green boots, your pants, whatever it is that you need to get. Go ahead and get it. That's going to be on Saturday.
Okay.
We'll be coming back Saturday afternoon. We're going to have a coaching and cocktail hour. And then we're going to have a popcorn with purpose event. That's going to be the shades of blue. That's all going on Saturday.
Okay.
Along with the fact that the men on call. So if someone is bringing their significant other, their spouse, they have a separate panel for the spouses. And then we're on the other side. We're discussing business. And like you said, the luxury of what you need to add to your life. That's going to be on Saturday. Oh, my God. I'm excited about that.
Nice.
Sunday morning, we have a coaching breakfast moment for the signature VIPs, and then we have our PPB, which is our Power Post breakfast. But we have our Sunday Post with none other than Pastor Major Jones, powerhouse. People absolutely love him.
Nice.
Evening, we go into our Cream Gala Awards. That is something that's a staple that we always would bring to the forefront, acknowledging those in the industry that we need to make sure we take care of, and awards, acknowledgement, all these things.
Nice.
Monday, we have more classes, workshops, panels. We have one of our great sponsors, Miss Kai Smith. She will be doing her specialty panel in there about trichology. We'll be having collaborative stages that's going to be going on too. We have some more sponsors and partners that's going to be coming in doing specialty performances and specialty panels just for everyone. I'm excited about that.
Nice.
It's restoration time, but there's something that I cannot forget and let everyone know that it is bigger than hair. But we have something called the release, and the release is on Monday. That's why I always tell people check in on Friday and leave on Tuesday, because you do not want to miss the release. The release is everything that you brought with you. You leave it at the altar. Mm-hmm. Not go back home with it. You know what I'm saying? I have a problem. I tell people the release. I have problems with releasing things, but that's the time when I'm vulnerable. Like last year, I think I was laid on the floor for about an hour, maybe. So,
nice.
But it was where I just gave it all up. The things I had been carrying, frustration, is everything. So this year it is restoration time. Mm-hmm. And when you hear the word restore, what does that mean to you right now?
Oh, man. What God has done for me. like I said, I've experienced a lot. I've gone through a lot. And right now I have been restored. I'm the happiest. I'm the most peaceful. I don't know if it's because my kids are grown now.
Your daughter do a service like mine. She's actually where my daughter used
Scared.
to be. Right, no.
I'm
Yes.
scared.
My
I'm
daughter
all
just
scared.
something. Yes.
But yeah, but I had, like, it's like I said, he stripped me several times. I've only been stripped all the way down once, but I have little mini strips every now and then, because it's like sometimes I might, get linked up with the wrong, people, and he'll take that, nope, and he'll strip, but he always restores. So, that goes back to even my faith on that. Like, I know that even if I feel like this right now and I'm not feeling the best, I know that he is going to replenish and give me a little extra every single time. So I love the whole restore theme, because that's where, even like I said, I'm me teaching women who are older. I feel like they're restoring their faith in the industry. They're restoring their love, their passion, their, everything that they feel like that maybe they have lost and that they haven't had in a while because they are stagnant, So let's restore that. Let's restore what it felt like for you when you first started, or let's restore something that you might not even know that you lost. You know what I'm saying? Until you realize, like, okay, yeah, I feel different. I feel better. I wake up different. I sleep better, or, whatever it is. So
To rest well. So there's a spiritual restoration that you're also looking for too.
mhm,
What are you expecting God to do at Impulse Summit this year? Because like I tell people, it's not a show.
mhm,
It's a safe space.
mhm,
It's spiritual. Like, we pray for Impulse Summit, not one day, but every day. We pray that God send the right people with the right intentions, with the right heart. Every day, Sunny,
mhm.
every day. And with you standing in a spiritual walk that you have, what are you expecting God to do at this year's Impulse Summit that someone needs to hear?
Definitely to move through everybody that is there, in a way that, like I said, if some people, sometimes you're not sure how you are impacting somebody else, or what one thing that you might have been holding on, or that you might have been embarrassed about to even say, or, that actually could help somebody else. So letting God just move through everyone in being vulnerable, being in a space that is safe, um, to be able to connect with other women or other men in your industry, in our industry, to create more of a sister brotherhood,
I love it. So the kind of restoration that you're praying for in your brand and platform for women that you serve, what kind of restoration are you looking for in your brand?
Um, I guess I would say to continue to restore the faith that I know that I have in my business and my brand, that it will go further. I want to franchise. I want to spread, not just, be here in Charlotte. So, but every now and then, because, there's even this law that I haven't even talked about, that they're trying to strip away the natural hair license here in Charlotte. I have a natural hair school, and when it was brought to me, I was like, I don't want to hear that. I ain't got time.
Yeah. Right.
And then it brought to me again, and I'm like, okay, this is real, so just making sure that I continue to have the faith that he did not bring me this far. So I instantly I've already created my little pivot, because at the end of the day, education is needed. And so I want to continue to educate. I want to continue to, and I honestly feel like maybe this will be better because I can drop the price a little bit and I can reach more women, because I'm pricey right now, so I'm just praying that, God continues to move through me in my faith in him and in others, and that I can just continue to bring in, the people that need to be around me, that need what I'm able to offer them, what I'm able to say to them, the realness that I'm able to give, to help restore them. So it's more so in restoring the others. I want to definitely start my women coming out of prison program, so to help restore them and help them know that, you can definitely have life after prison, and you can be successful. So
I'm just going to touch and agree with you on that, because what I hear from you is that the need of someone that's crying out right now, even someone that's listening to this, it's a cry. right? And it's almost like we both gave birth to children. And it's a distinct cry that you can hear so many other children crying out in this daycare. But it's something that you hear that's a distinct cry from your child. That you know the identification of your cry, your child that's hurting. It's the difference between them crying because they just playing or crying because they really hurt.
Or in pain.
This is something that we talked about. You said, well, what do you feel like you need to bring to Impulse Summit? I said, bring you. Be organically, originally you, that no one can't take anything away from you. I just finished talking to a young lady. I travel all over the world, country, and I teach techniques of cutting and other things. And I feel like when I walk in a room, there's nobody like me. I'm not comparing, I'm not competing, but I know for a fact that the reason why God has me in that space is because it's bigger than hair. It's bigger than that. So I'm going to touch and agree with you on the building and the shifting and the pivoting of what God is showing you, because He already showed you what you need to do. Now say, God, give me the instructions on how to do it. So we're definitely going to come. I'm looking forward to you being with us.
I am too.
On our 7th year, this is the year of completion, but I also know it's a year that we're starting back over. So it's a brand new, fresh wind that will bring fresh wind in. What do you see yourself bringing to Impulse Summit?
Definitely authenticity, for sure. I think that resonates with people way more than social media and all the other stuff. It's how can they relate? And I can relate with a lot of people on a lot of different subjects. Okay. So definitely authenticity and education and just my passion and knowing that it's not for show. It's who I am. I can't even help it. Like I've been wanting to be the person to help you and tell you since I was a little girl. Like I remember always trying to tell my mama, oh, you know this? And they'd be like, girl, we already knew that.
Right. Oh, you already knew that.
Right. I've always wanted to be the person to put somebody on. That's literally like my love language is. Let me tell you about this.
So I want everyone that's listening that Sunny Days, and I love that name, Sunny Days, because it's visual. We'll be at Impulse Summit in September, but also you can also find her at her school, the Bonafide Natural Luxury Experience School. I'm gonna go ahead and put experience.
Yes.
6316 Old Sugar Creek Road, UNC, Charlotte, North Carolina, 704-910-1586. Screenshot this, whatever y'all gotta do. These are her IG. Follow her on IG. Follow all the things that she's doing. But I want you to follow her to the Seats of Impulse Summit, because I'm telling you, listening to her over the phone, I instantly fell in love with her. Like I was shampooing my guest and was like, my guest was like, she sounded like you. I was like, I know, right? And not the fact that you just told us what you're expecting to give to those in the class. What are you expecting for someone to bring to you at Impulse Summit?
An open heart, open mind, and questions. I love questions. I love to get people's brains going and they actually act on it. Because some people will have questions and won't speak, right? They'll just kind of hold it to themselves and then try to go Google it. But ask me, because I know a lot, So I hope people come definitely with an open heart, open mind, ready to receive something new. I know a lot of times when I go to different things like this, it's like I come back powered up. So, I hope that they come ready to receive from everybody and just open and vulnerable in a sense of leveling up, and restoring, like you said.
So listen, my Christmas present to myself is I will be in your class.
Yes,
it's restoration year. It is the year of restore. Job 2:25 says it's time to rebuild, revive, resuscitate everything that you thought you lost. God, it's time for us to pour back in. Join us for this 3-day educational experience that will restore spiritually, personally, and professionally. That's what God says, and He's a man of His word. all the different events we have, all the people that you're going to see that's going to be there, that's going to assist you with success. If you're looking to partner with us in any facet, you can do so by simply emailing us at imposummit at gmail.com or admin at imposummit, and we'll be able to get that information over to you. If you want to go ahead and scan the QR code and lock in, feel free to do so. Or you can go to stan.store/Impulse Summit, where we have all facets from Carnal, Affirm, Afterpay, Zip, anything that you're looking for to get the Impulse Summit. Like Sunny says, is no excuses. If she can show up in a wheelchair, you your legs. It's restoration time. Sunny, I know you probably don't know this, but I'm going to say this, and I say this every time. Look, ooh, girl, you're so pretty. Oh,
Thank you.
this is what I always say. I love you, and there is nothing you can do
about it. Thank you. Love you too.